In the beginning of the Bible, it speaks of people in Noah's time and before, living for 1,000 years. I used to believe this was crazy, and these people were simply counting new moons as years or didn't know how to add it up at all. I never believed in this, and to be honest, how many people really do? However, after I learned the truth about what God really is, and saw this certain article, that I realized how this truly could have been possible. The truth that I learned was God is in fact living water. In my previous videos, I showed logical and biblical evidence that living water is God, and even some fledgling scientific evidence that shows water having the core attributes of a conscience. I don't expect you to believe this all at once. Simply take it in mind and keep it in consideration. To see these videos, please watch The Secret of God and The Secret of God Continued, both located on my YouTube channel. Now, back to how we could have lived for 1,000 years. While flipping through a book searching for something unrelated, I saw a study on the percentage of water in the body as we get older. In the study, it showed how the water percentage in your body peaks in your late 20s and starts a steady downhill slope from there. The study only went up to 80 years of age, but by then the water percentage in your body is very low. When I saw this, I was reminded of when God told Noah after the flood, "My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years." Now, if water is God's spirit, as I've shown evidence for in the previous videos, then you can see that water as God's spirit is slowly leaving your body as you grow older, and that is what causes our bodies to age and break down the way they do. The animating life force that took us from the dust of the earth, as in Genesis 2:7, is leaving us until again we are returned to the dust of the earth, as in Genesis 3:19. For you are dust, and to the dust you shall return. Now, if water is God's spirit, as I have shown evidence for in previous videos, then you can see that water, as God's spirit, is slowly leaving your body as you grow older, and that is what causes our bodies to age and break down the way they do. The animating life force that took us from the dust of the earth, as in Genesis 2:7, then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground, is leaving us until again we return to the dust of the earth, as in Genesis 3:19, for you are dust, and to the dust you shall return. This also brings up another point. He makes a separation with himself and the dust with these scriptures. As in Genesis 2:7, then the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to realize that we are mostly made up of water, and the rest turns to dust after we die. Since the verse makes no mention of God making man from the dust of the ground and water, it isn't unreasonable that this could be one more instance pointing to God as being water. In Revelation chapter 20-4, the Bible speaks about the chosen living and ruling with Christ for 1,000 years. Again, I used to think this was crazy. But seeing that the aging process could very well be being caused by God's Spirit, or water, leaving the body, I do believe it may be possible that if water doesn't slowly deplete in the body, that we could live for very long lives beyond what we really ever thought possible. Now this also brings me to another point. There was a Bible verse that I remembered, however I can't seem to find the exact translation now. The words I remember were, "Because you eat from the dead, you will most assuredly die." While I couldn't find that exact translation, I could find in Genesis 9:4-5, it does say, "But you must not eat meat that still has its lifeblood in it." Also, I will certainly demand an accounting regarding bloodshed from every animal and from every human being. I'll demand an accounting from every human being for the life of another human being. While this doesn't say the exact words I remember, it does explain that there will be an accounting for killing men and animals. In this chapter, he agreed to let man continue to eat from the dead. It says that he will now give the flesh of beasts into our hand, in Genesis 9:2, as he has already done with the fruits of every tree and every seed-bearing plant, in Genesis 1:29. But he warns first, in Genesis 9:4, "But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood." Again, more evidence showing that life is water. So this is a pretty clear chapter showing that God doesn't want us killing animals and eating them. And according to this, he curses us to die for doing it. And now, thanks to modern technology, we have evidence that it is literally killing us. According to the American National Institute of Health, a properly balanced vegetarian diet may be the best diet. And according to the Oxford Vegetarian Study, meat eaters are twice as likely to die from heart disease, have a 60% greater risk of dying from cancer, and a 30% higher risk of dying from other causes. Also, those who eat less meat have fewer problems with cholesterol. Now, there are a lot of other sources out there that will tell you and show you evidence that eating animal products can make you sick and cause cancerous tumors. There are more studies and more articles to support this. Now, I'm sure you'll see articles out there saying this is untrue, and don't fear, but don't forget how many studies the tobacco companies had put out in the 80s and 90s to convince people that smoking did not cause cancer. Do you think that our corporations today are any more moral than they were, or that they are actually being kept in check by our government more now than then? I really hope you don't. So, in conclusion, do I think that going vegan will help you live for 1,000 years? No. But if you would like to make it to old age, or to do so without having a pharmacy in your back pocket, I would suggest consider it, or at least reducing the amount of animal products you consume. And as far as living for 1,000 years, I believe that's completely in God's hands, and whether or not He leaves His Spirit in our body that much longer.